Hi, welcome to Joanna's DIY Life. On this channel, I love to do home decor on a budget. Now, let's get crafty. So, I'm going to be making these two items. Let's get started. Alright, for the first one, I'm going to be making this beautiful lantern. I've wanted one forever, just haven't done it. But I've got these two little plaques from the Dollar Tree. You want to make sure that they're the same size. And I'm just going to take my little Cricut tool thing here and pull the back brackets off, and then I eventually get my glue gun and I'm gonna pull all the tags off of these little plaques. And then that one wood plaque, I'm pretty sure I got from Hobby Lobby. I might have got it at Dollar Tree, and then that one I just threw down. I got it to Dollar Tree. Then I have a little spindle top thing that I got at Hobby Lobby, but I'm just gonna take my stickers off real quick. Once I get the stickers off, I'm gonna take my oscillating tool that has a sander on it, and I'm going to sand off where those stickers were because it pulled stuff up, and I just wanted it smooth. And then I'm also going to use it to sand this picture off because I'm going to have to be using this side and paint it, and I really didn't want to put a bazillion coats of paint, so I just sanded the picture off as best I could, and it worked out great. Now I have these two square wooden dowels that I purchased at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to be using those for the legs to my lantern, which I will deal with in a minute. Now I'm going to take the little pumpkins out and I'm going to save them, and I thought that was wood, but it's little styrofoam sponge things, foam. I thought that was kind of funny, but anyway, one of these I'm going to paint. One of them, I'm not going to waste my paint on it because you're not going to see it, so don't waste your paint, people. But I'm going to be painting them with Waverly's ink, which is black chalk paint. Before I do that, though, I am going to measure out my dowels. This is just however tall you want it, guesstimate. I thought, I can't hold this. Let me get a pencil. Then I thought, you dummy, how are you going to hold that up and mark it? So I brought my hand up. And I sometimes I don't think before I try to do stuff. But anyway, it worked out. It worked out, okay? So I'm going to mark my boards. I mean, not my boards. I'm going to mark my little dowels. And then I'm going to take my dirty little miter saw that I bought at Walmart. Well, it's been a couple years ago. And cut these off. I was going to use this little miter saw here, but I don't like it. I got it at Harbor Freight and I really don't care for it. I haven't used it that much though, so we'll let you know later. But anyways, I went ahead and cut them off with the other one. And now I am just going to give everything a coat of paint. Like I said, I'm not going to paint in the one. And I also don't want to paint where I am going to be gluing. That's just me. I'm not gluing anything in this. This is going to be the top, and just in case anyone looks up in there, I don't know why they would, but you never know about people. So I'm going to paint it, and I wanted to paint the outsides because it's not really solid black, and I wanted it solid black. I didn't even distress this thing. Now I might later, but I didn't as of right now. So I am going to take, this would be part of the top, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on, and I'm just going to get it even and mark where I want it. Okay, that way I know I can go inside that a little bit, but not a lot, because I want my glue to stick, and I don't know if you paint it, if the paint would peel off and the glue with it or what. So I just wanted to make sure that I had glue on the two surface contact. So I'm going to measure everything out, even my little spindle, and then I will paint everything black. I'm going to be using my Titebond Quick and Thick. Of course, I love, love, love this glue. And as you can see on my dowels, I didn't paint all the way down so that I have some wood to adhere there too. So I'm just going to be putting the, the wood glue on the bottom of the stick and the hot glue on the sides. Now when you put this in, when your hot glue connects, it's going to make contact. So you have to kind of like push down and into cracks or corners at the same time, okay? But it's not hard. So I'm going to do this to all 4 of these sticks, and then I am going to put my top on. Now, When you put your top on, you have to pull your sticks in some. And then I'm just going to add wood glue to the four bottom of the posts and place that back in there. Now, it was a little wonky, so once I got it down in there, I left it on the bottom, of course, upside down, and then I took a little bit of hot glue, and where the corners, where they didn't match, this is a very detailed glue gun. It is excellent. I highly recommend it. I just put a little dab of glue there and smashed it down and pushed it over. You couldn't even see where the glue was. If you do, just take your fingernail or a knife or whatever and scrape that glue off and you're just fine. I am so sorry that y'all can't see this very well. I'm trying to explain it, but my camera is overhead, not on the side. But I'm just going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to touch up where there's any, unpainted surfaces. That way it looks finished and looks good. And now comes the rest of the assembly. I'm just going to take wood glue and put on here, and I did add hot glue, but I ended up removing this off because it was kind of crooked. I don't even know if I show it in the video or not, but I also, once this was, on, there's a gap because that, how Dollar Tree boards are, okay, or signs or whatever. So later I took my detail gun and smushed it down the sides of that board that I just put on and pinched it tight and waited for the hot glue to dry. But on the rest of this, I just used my Titebond quick and thick wood glue. It is what it says, quick and thick, and it does the job. So I just added my quick and thick and put everything else on there. And just so you know, there was a hole, like an indentation in that spindle. So I had a round piece of wood and I just put it in there. And I, wanted something to attach it to. So I put wood glue all over that and put that down on there in the center. I just didn't, there was nothing there to grip to except around the edge. And I didn't want it to get bumped or knocked off. So I just gave it a little more stability, that's all, with the wood inside that hole. So this is what it looks like. I love it. I can't believe I did this, But I'm going to take I'm going to take a piece of floral foam and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue and glue that in the middle. Now, with this, you can interchange your flowers for each season. If the floral foam, which I have trouble saying, can easily be replaced if it gets worn out. So, of course, I am crushing on sunflowers lately, so you see them over there, and that's what I'm going to cut down stick in. But to hide all the floral foam, let me go slow here, I am going to add some of this moss that I've been using. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and I have used the fire out of it. You get a lot more for your money at Hobby Lobby, I'm just going to say. But anyways, now I'm just going to, once I get that in there, cut my flowers down. I want them sticking out kind of, sort of. And I'm just going to poke it into flower foam, and I'm going to put 4, 1 on each side. They're pretty big, so, it takes up a lot of room. And it's cute. And I have some pumpkins down there. They did not fit, okay? They didn't fit, so I used something else. And that was what it looked like so far. And I have these little, I don't know, they look like pumpkins, but it's from that dried potpourri stuff at the Dollar Tree. And I also have those little round wood things to the side there that worked, but I really love the orange color in there, see? I loved it. So I just popped them in each corner. And then I took a battery operated candle thing. I got it at Dollar Tree last year and it's really pretty. It flickers. It's kind of bright too. So I placed that right in the middle. Now I'm going to take a piece of mesh. I got this mesh at Hobby Lobby in the fall section. But you can find mesh at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut a piece off. And y'all, I could not get this stuff to scrunch on this mat because it's silicone and it wouldn't let me. I was getting nowhere. So I pulled the mat back in a minute, right there, and I used my table. Yeah. Then it scrunched up. So all I did was scrunch it up in my fingers, okay? And I am going to take, I think I have a needle and thread, and I'm just going to poke it in there and start wrapping it around just to tie this off for right now. And I'm just going to tie it. There was no knot in this, so I just tie a knot. Now I have this ribbon. I got it at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to make a very loopy bow by making my famous figure 8. And then I'm just going to start wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. And I think I ended up with 3 or 4 on each side. It doesn't really matter if your ribbon is not exact, you know, as far as same size or whatever. But I just get my loops on each side, and then I'm going to take a clip and hold it while I take a needle and dental floss and then tie that off. Then for that mesh over there, I needed something to roll it around, so I just grabbed one of these wooden chalkboards, and I'm going to roll it around and around. I tried to use my hand, but my fingers kept closing and I couldn't get it, so I had to have something. So I just wrap it around a few times and then tie it off. Now, I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to smush these all together and hold them tight and pray they don't move, and just take this meshy coil stuff that I got at the Dollar Tree and just tie tight around the middle. And then I'll take that mesh roll and I'll roll it around a few times and then tie it off again just to give it a little bit of structure in the middle and split those ribbons apart just a little bit so they're not all in a ball. And then I have to figure out how to get it on. So I want it to be not so seen. I didn't want to use a zip tie, which you could have. So I take this thin wire, and it was hard to string through here because it's really thin and kept bending, but I eventually got it through. And then I'm going to twist it around a couple times so that it doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to use that wire to go around the top of that spindle thing on the top. Once I got this bow on, look, oh my gosh, it's seriously the most beautiful thing. So this next one, I'm taking one of these Dollar Tree cloches, and I'm going to be making a little pumpkin topiary. And right now I'm just getting all this stickiness off when I pulled the sticker off. And then there's a hole in this. So I'm going to be using a skewer or a small dowel rod, just making sure it fits. And I am going to be taking the tops off these pumpkins because, of course, 2 of them you surely won't need it, but I'm going to need one for the top one. And I'm going to stack these. When I got these stacked on here, I didn't like the middle one, so I switched them out. But either way, you're going to stack 3 different sized pumpkins, and I used a skewer to go down between them and then just stick down in that hole to keep them stable. Now I'm just going to take, this is Reindeer Moss. I got it at the Dollar Tree. And I am just going to take bits off and hot glue around here and just add this. And then I will take little bitty pieces. And I'm going to take a little hot glue and glue a little bit around the bottoms of each pumpkin as well. Make sure when you get done adding the moss that you want that you take scissors or something and trim all that moss off, because the cloche has to go back down on the top. You can also paint the cloche, you know, the bottom, if you want to. That's up to you. It doesn't matter. I'm keeping mine black because I'm going to be setting it on a stand that is the same color as the pumpkins. So I just chose to leave mine black. Whew. Now I have this fall flower bush, floral bush, whatever you want to call it, from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to be clipping little flowers off and little pieces just to go around the cloche, around the pumpkins, to give them a little something something. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Then when I get my flowers the way I want them, I'm just going to push everything up and in. You have to make sure it's really, really tight. And then just add your cloche top. And I did take my hot glue gun and added just a few little spots, tiny, tiny spots of glue to make sure that my top didn't fall off. Now on the bottom of the cloche, it is indented, so I'm going to take a piece of foam board and I'm just going to trace around this cloche. Then I'm going to cut on the inside of my mark so that it will fit in the bottom there. So I found this beautiful candlestick at a thrift store and just popped it right down on there. I got it to stay. It wasn't hard. I just had to push it down and maneuver it a little bit. But here they are. I am in love with this lantern, y'all. Tell me what you think. If you like this video, please leave me a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Remember, you are a blessing. Until next time, goodbye.